Welcome to Grumpily Ever After, our uncensored podcast where swoon-worthy meets eye-rolling as I, an avid reader and adventure romance author, chat with my grumpy husband who has inspired all of my book boyfriends written to date. Join us as we chat about books he'll never read, words he thinks are stupid, and all his grumbles in between. If nothing else, we hope to make you smile and brighten your day. At least a little. So, settle in and let's see where today's chapter takes us. All right, welcome to this episode of Grumpily Ever After. I am your co-host, Lindsay.
Other host, Thomas.
And today we are winding down our pseudo Friday. It is Thursday, but tomorrow's a holiday, right? 4th of July, Independence Day. Yes.
Happy 4th, everyone.
We talked about offering up any recommendations for shows or books, or well, I would do books, but shows or movies or anything that we've seen recently. So I just wanted to throw that out there if anything comes to mind. I feel like we haven't gotten too engrossed in a show lately, but we did go see F1, which I really enjoyed. So I recommend people going to see that if they want to see it, if they are interested in waffling and want to see it on the big screen, because it's really good.
Yeah, and I would add to that, we just rewatched The First Accountant, The Accountant, and it's been a while. It's been out for a while, but we haven't, I think we only saw it once. So it was nice to get a refresher and really enjoy it again, because it's a really good film. And then
really good.
Part 2 came out, this year? Earlier this year?
Yeah.
So
and we enjoyed that too.
If you guys have not seen the Accountant movies, I would recommend them.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed them. I think Accountant is one of my top tiers. I really like that one. We also started Mobland on Paramount, and that is intense. It's good, but it's really intense, and then you want to slap people a lot because they're really obnoxious. But the acting is really good, and I'm, Tom Hardy freak, so I get excited. I do have a book to discuss with everybody. It's the book that you picked for me to read, for me to talk to everybody about.
Hi.
Yeah, so I finally finished it, The Wild Huntress, and this one is by Emily Lloyd-Jones. This is the first book that I've read by her, and just as a reminder, it's Within These Woods, Trust No One. It is I would say a young adult fantasy adventure, and this is what Dennis picked it based off of this. Every 5th year, as harvest wanes, 2 kingdoms meet in wooded domain, and those who cannot hunt nor slay belong to your king for a year and a day. Kings and beggars trust your aim, for in the wild hunt all are fair game. And it's really insane, if you've read this, how much all of that makes so much more sense now. Because I remember when you were asking, you had me break it down as to kind of what I thought it meant last time.
Yeah, and or at least for myself, I remember that I was confused, because I'm like, so it's all like everyone in the village and the lords and everyone that has status goes and hunts the poor people, and you're like, nah, it's pretty much, the way I'm interpreting and understanding it is everyone's fair game. So I'm like, huh.
Yeah, and I'm going to give spoilers away, everybody, so you can fast forward. But first of all, the cover, you picked it because you thought the cover was really interesting. This knife or dagger is actually, in the story, it's made out of a bone, like a fang. Sorry, it's the fang of this creature.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it looks like that.
That's cool.
This is one of those books where you hear people making fun of fantasy books because they have these words that people can't even pronounce in them. And they're just like, his name was... That's exactly how I felt with this. It was a little ridiculous. However, only certain things. And so it was interesting what the lore is behind this and what this is based off of. I did not go and look into it. But anyways, so long story short, there's three main characters. And so the first half of the story is a little slow because they're doing all this character building. It doesn't really start getting intriguing until the middle of the book, which was kind of hard for me to get into. But once I got towards essentially the last quarter of the, or last maybe third of the book, I really got really into it. And I actually got frustrated because I thought there was so much happening at the end. I thought it was going to be a cliffhanger and I was going to be pissed off. I don't really like cliffhangers. I don't generally continue series unless they're really good. So that's why I'm kind of like, oh man, don't do this to me. But overall, no, it was a good story, really well written. There's a cat in this story that you probably would have thought was interesting. He's just a cat through the whole story. He belongs to the Huntress. Bronwyn, I think is how you say her name.
He's a freaking shapeshifter.
Well, I don't know what he is. That's one of my kind of frustrations is even the other king, who is essentially Fae, he is magic. He's the king of magic and all magic beings, is afraid of this cat, but you don't actually know what it is other than he looks like a cat. You know what I mean? And there's all this story of, well, rumor has it that he ate, devoured five blah 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 wolves or whatever it was, and it's like, but the whole time he's just a cat. You never see anything in action. You don't even really learn what he is. So that was kind of fun, and I was felt like I was waiting for it to be explained, and it never was, but that's okay. But overall, it's 3 main characters, and it is a prince who wants to overthrow his horrible brother who is going to be king, and they have magic power. So he's gonna be a horrible king, and he has the power, like fire power, and so he's the last person he wants to be ruling the kingdom. So he goes into this hunt. He hires Bronwyn, who is a huntress, and she has one magic eye and one that's not magic. So she looks human, but when she has her one magic eye uncovered, she can see things that are magic. So that's why it makes her partially such a good huntress, is because she can see things in both worlds. So he hires her, and then they go and they meet up with this prince, another prince, from another kingdom, because this whole hunt is 2 different kingdoms. It's like the magic king, so we'll call him the other king, and then just like a normal human king. And these 2 kingdoms come together, the 2 of them, and they do this hunt every single year, or no, every 5 years. And I won't get into how it all works and everything, but the third character, and again, I don't even know how to say his name, Prydery, Pryderi, Prydery. Anyway, he's a prince raised by a monster, so he has his own baggage. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really interesting because nothing in this book is what you think it is, and I think that's why I like it so much. Really good twist. That it made it for me. If there wasn't the twist, if it was just kind of petered on how it was, I would have been. But I'll definitely read something else by this author. And she lives in Northern California, so I'm going to reach out to her and be like, hey, I just read one of your books for the first time because my husband asked me to, and it was really good, and I live in NorCal too, so I just want to say hi.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Now, touching on the cat thing, do you ever come across that as a writer yourself, where you have potential, like, different avenues or something, and then you decide to go a different direction? So either you just drop it or you pivot, like, for example, the cat thing, this author was thinking maybe, she'll build on that and have the cat do something, but then she changed her mind and was like, I don't want to go that direction anymore, so I'm just going to essentially cut it off and just keep it kind of gray.
No, I think that she did it on purpose. I think I can see the appeal because you never really know, so it's kind of fun, but I want to know. I want to know the answers. And they might actually say like the actual name of whatever he is, but I still don't like it, never really discusses it. And for the most powerful king to be afraid of it, I feel like it warrants some. He said it's the only thing pretty much that he's scared of. So it's like, I feel like we need more than, and how did it find the poor huntress who can't even, make ends meet, and her mom's losing her mind and she can barely put food on the table, and why did he choose her? And, I just feel like there was a lot that wasn't really explained about that. And I have a feeling, again, I think she did it on purpose. She probably had 7 editors. They're not going to sit here and be like, hey, you have a, loophole, you didn't close the storyline up. And they wouldn't let her leave it in there, I think, unless she felt like it was. Or I could honestly, maybe I missed something. That is very likely. I could have, like, maybe I turned a page and it was stuck together. I mean, maybe I missed it. I don't know. But I just feel like that was just kind of strange.
Well, cat lovers, need to know. Need to have some resolution.
Yeah, I mean, if he wasn't in the entire story, it's not like he's just like a random cat. He was on the hunt with them. He had played a major role in it, actually. So I just feel like you just needed a little bit more info. But I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I'm gonna try some for other books if I come across them. So there you have it.
Nice.
Give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. And that kind of leads us into what we're going to be doing today, which is we're going to be talking about words that can just retire already because we don't like them. All right?
No, we do not.
No, we do not. All right. So this is our word retirement list for 2025. And feel free to email us or reach out because we would love to add your words to the list as well. But let's go ahead and start with literally, because we've already talked about it on the podcast. Talk to us a little bit more about this word.
I'm not the only one. I mean, this has been a conversation with other people, numerous people, but it's just a word that gets used way too much, essentially out of context. And the word really has no meaning anymore. People that say literally all the time is just they're substituting the word like some filler and they're using literally. And when it's used every other word, I've gotten better because I'm essentially been desensitized with the amount of exposure. But man, for a while there, for a few years, it was like nails on a chalkboard, and it still irks me. But it's
so for
rough.
anybody who doesn't know Dennis personally, and even if you do, actually, you probably still don't know this. I mean, this is like one of those words where it puts him in a bad mood if he hears it, or he really is grumpy about it. Or I use it sparingly. I don't use it that much. And then he rolls his eyes at me. So it's definitely not a word that he enjoys. So let's do one for me. And this is something that it just bothers me in writing in general. And this is when people use really obscure words that take me out of the story. Like instead of saying his eyes were really pretty blue, okay, that's a very basic sentence, but people would write, like authors will say his orbs were blue. It's like, why can't you just say eyes? Like, why do you say orbs? And here's the other thing. I am one of those authors where I hate using the same word over and over and over again. So I understand if you have used gaze and if you've used eyes too many times, then talk about something else or go and change other instances so that you can really use eyes or gaze or glance or whatever it is in that moment that you really want to use it, because you don't need it everywhere. It's just a crutch, really. I mean, I find myself doing this all the time. So to sit there and put in orbs is just so obnoxious to me because it takes me out of the story, because it's a word that nobody uses really, just authors, because they're trying to sound deeper or change a word out. And I get it. I totally get it. Like, there's no judgment, but it really bothers me.
That's crazy. I would never think to use the word orbs to describe your eyes.
Yep.
Or substitute the word eyes. Are there any other ones?
Oh yeah,
for
digits.
No,
For
no,
eyes?
for eyes. Like flesh marbles.
I haven't read that one yet. I have not read that one yet.
Flesh marbles were gazing upon me. Like, what?
Flesh marbles. Is that something you just pulled out of your ass, or have you heard that before?
No, I pulled it out of my beehole.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I've never heard that.
Well, I've never heard of orbs.
No, I know. And then, yeah, so the other one is digits. When someone says fingers, his digit, it's like, or her digit. And I'm just like, what? That takes me out of a story.
Why not just use a scientific word then at that point? Just phalanges or
I don't know. I don't know.
His metacarpals touched me.
I love it. That's what Michael Crichton would say.
It sounds better than digits.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's just certain words that really take me out of a story, and using words like that when you want something to be pretty, and you don't want it to be jarring. You want it to flow, and for the reader to just pass over it and, be in the story and enjoy it. And then orbs. And I'm just like, oh, his orbs were glowing.
It's like you're driving through and you're just hitting a bunch of speed bumps going 70 miles an hour. What the hell was that?
Kind of.
Came out of nowhere.
There's another one for hair that I use sometimes, but I really try not to, and that's tresses, like the tresses of your hair. Like instead of saying hair, you say tresses, like strands, and instead of you saying strands, her long tresses were golden, whatever. Like, it's just, again, it sounds, I prefer that over orbs. Okay. I mean, it's just, so anyways, this is my little pet peeves when it comes to writing.
Why not say locks? I've never heard tresses before. That would throw me off.
It's probably French, right? Because what is that? Tresemme. Or something. I don't know. All right. So another one on your list. Let's go.
Yeah, this is part of the new generation lingo. At least that's my exposure. Watching TV, watching shows, talking to people watching, people that get excited, scream, let's go every freaking time. And what happened to just saying like, yeah, it's let's go. Let's go. Where are we going? Stop saying that. It's really bugging me lately.
I never hear that. So
oh man, my receptors are out there because I hear it probably 50 times a day.
Yeah, but you also interact with a ton of people, and you go to schools, and so you hear kids too. So between tons of coworkers and construction companies and blah 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 blah, and your friends, yeah, I feel like you definitely probably hear it way more than me.
I mean, the people that I surround myself with, friends, coworkers, I never really hear them say it. Kids at school sites, for sure. I mean, yesterday, as an example, I was talking to you about when I went to go get my hair cut. There was, I don't know, maybe like a 5-year-old sitting there playing on his father's phone, playing some game. And he kept going like, oh, I'm going to die. Oh, I made it. Let's go. Every like 30 seconds, that would happen. And I'm just sitting there like melting in my chair. A 5-year-old yelling, let's go. Like, it's not going away. Yeah. So I mean, for you probably don't notice it, but maybe once you start looking for it, man, it's everywhere.
I'd be interested to know what parents find their kids saying a lot that drives them bonkers.
And it's not bad. It's just maybe I'm just being a grumpy butt, but I never used to hear it. Like when people would celebrate, there's a team effort, they're playing sports, someone does something really good, they get excited, they want to yell and express that. But now every single person expresses it with a let's go.
Let's do one more for you. This one was also new for me. You said bet. I don't use that in context for me.
Yeah, so that's another new lingo. And it's not as bad. I don't hear it that often, but I think it's dumb, and it's me showing my age, because every generation has their words, right? We had our words.
Right.
I'm sure our parents were like, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah.
Bet in the new or the younger generation is essentially saying okay or for sure.
So like can you use use in a sentence.
I'll say, hey, Lindsay, do you want to go out to dinner? Your response would be bet.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's the young generation, P. There is and there's a ton of words, and I know there's a label for it with, like, I don't know if it's Gen Alpha and their specific type of lingo, but it is unreal the amount of words that they use.
Oh, yes. Yes. I know what you're talking about. Your brother had me watch that video, remember?
And he's presenting in front of a class. Yeah. So
In a whole different language, and they're like, "Ooh, blah, blah," and I had no clue what any of it was. Yeah.
They only understand it, but that's one of those words is bet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard that one used that way either. No, one that I can't stand. I just think, I mean, I don't have any visceral reaction to it like you do, but I definitely think that it's stupid, and I don't know who even comes up with these, but it's clutch. People using clutch, like, that's clutch. I'm like, oh my God, that's the stupidest thing.
I've used that before.
Yeah, I'm sure you have, but I've never ever used that word, and I don't think I ever will, because doesn't.
You purposely don't use it.
No, it doesn't even come up in my vocabulary, and so it's weird when I hear other people use it, because I also feel like it was really popular a while back, and now it's getting popular again. I don't know.
I haven't heard it in forever. It was popular in the 90s.
Like, yeah, well, it's getting popular again.
I haven't heard it.
Maybe it's from you that I heard it, because you said you say it sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, I randomly say it. I think last time I said it was maybe a month or two ago, and I think you caught me. You're like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah, I'm just
when the hell did you start saying that? I was like, I say it sometimes randomly.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's just like, I guess, bet. That doesn't make sense to me either. Let's go, I kind of get, but bet it's not, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, bet doesn't mean okay. Logical. No, I've had a conversation with one of the younger guys at my work, and this was kind of, a few years ago, when my first exposure, and I'm like, hey, let's go do X. And he says, bet. And I go, bet what? What are we betting? And he's like looking at me like a dumbass. No, I mean, okay. Oh, well, say okay then. I didn't realize bet meant okay. You dork.
I don't know.
But clutch, yeah, no, that was back in the day. I don't know.
There's still words that I say from back in the day. I still say hella. Amber still says it. I know that. I know a lot of people, I've heard people say it, and they're like, do people say that anymore? I say it. I don't know. And I don't know if that's like a West Coast thing, or.
I've heard that it's a West Coast thing. Like East Coast supposedly goes hecka, and West Coast says hella.
Oh my gosh.
But I haven't gone to the East Coast to verify.
Well, I'm pretty sure I used to say the other one too, but I don't ever say that anymore. I just say hella.
Hecka?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when I was little, I used it. Hecka.
That's probably more of a, you probably use that around your adult family members, so you're not saying the HE double hockey sticks.
Yep, that's actually exactly what it was. I remember. That makes sense. Okay, so another one that you apparently can't stand is "it's funny because."
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. It's something that I noticed that people use on a day-to-day basis, because it's a filler. Again, a lot of people, when they speak, they don't like silence or spacing in between.
I don't. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
I've heard that cadence and timing and spacing and stuff, silence is pretty powerful when you're talking. But anyways, a lot of people use "it's funny because" as, I think, a buffer for them to formulate their thoughts and then go to say what they're going to say. When you really listen to people speak, and when they use that "it's funny because," at one point, yeah, it made sense, the introduction of that saying. But now it's being used to gain, time for you to think about your words or your train of thought. And then you don't realize you're saying it. And then when you go to say what you're going to say with the meat and potatoes, there's nothing funny about it. So why are you starting this "it's funny because" and then you say your thing, and what? You're training yourself to say that, to give yourself some time as a buffer, when whatever you're gonna say is not funny. I hear it on the radio a lot, and there's a disc jockey that I like, and I've noticed she starts to catch herself when she's saying it, where I think she's trying to rewire her brain because she's so accustomed to saying it that once she realizes what the point she's gonna make isn't funny, she'll go, "It's funny because," and then she'll catch herself and say, "Actually, it's not funny," and then say what she was
Sarah?
saying in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it, like, I never say it. There's certain words, because I think a lot before I speak, so I never say those words. Sometimes I slip, but I don't think I've ever said it's funny because I just don't say anything and then just like lead into what I'm gonna say. If it's funny, then by all means, it's funny because blah. But if you really listen to people, that has lost its meaning, and people just use it as a crutch.
Yeah, there's a lot of those words now, huh? Well, that's kind of leads into one of my words, because this also has to do with writing. So when I was first starting to write, I got, like, we'll just say, like, slapped on the wrist sort of deal, right? When I was writing about how you cannot use eyebrows and brow interchangeably in writing, because they are two different parts of your face. Your brow is this, and then you have eyebrows. And so if you say his brow furrowed, then that's this part, right? If you say he raised his brow, that's him, like, going like this, but it's not him raising an eyebrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's two different things. And so I see authors using them interchangeably all the time. So like brows can do things that they actually really can't even do, because they're using the one brow as the eyebrows, and you have two eyebrows. And
how interesting.
And it's funny because I've even tried to get away with it recently, and I can't even remember why. But I was just like, I always am extra careful because it's been beaten into my brain. But for whatever reason, the cadence didn't sound right. And so I put in brow instead of eyebrow, for whatever the instance was. And a reader commented on it immediately. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, are you joking me? So again, like, it's almost like the universe is like, Lindsay, just don't do it. So yeah. But yeah, so that it really does. It's just a rule of thumb, right? And then once you learn it and then you see other people doing it, then it really bothers you, So.
Oh yeah. And that, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in this boat, but once you fixate on something, for me, it just consumes me. So it's like, I try not to let it get to me, but it does. And it sucks. I wish it didn't, but I think, like, I don't know, I just become laser focused on it. And I wish I wasn't that way, but I did not know about the brow thing. Why not just call it a forehead? But brow is like old timey.
I mean, I don't know. Let me look it up.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call a forehead a brow. So this is news to me.
Brow and eyebrow are closely related, but not the same. Brow generally refers to the bony ridge above the eye sockets, so like this area, or the forehead above the eyes. And then the eyebrow is specifically the arch of hair above your eye.
Okay, clarification. I want to dissect that a little bit.
Okay.
Brow refers to the upper portion of the eyebrow, or the entire forehead.
So pretty much, yeah, like, you can call it the forehead, is what they're saying, what you're saying. Brow generally refers to the bony ridge above the eyes, or the forehead above the eyes. So essentially just
Okay.
this, right?
Because I was thinking just wanted some clarification because I was thinking like someone, let's say a Neanderthal, right? You think of a Neanderthal and they're really pronounced in the eyebrow area where this kind of protrudes a bit more, where it's bony. So are they
Hmm.
talking about like that portion that extends a little bit outward? That's the brow, and then the upper portion is the forehead. But
Oh,
they're
I don't
saying
know.
it's all of it.
And this is just Google. I mean, I haven't, this is not like a medical journal or anything. But like people say furrowed brow or puckered brow. So I think it's like, I think it's pretty much like all this.
Hit him with that puckered brow.
I mean, that's really what it is. It's funny how we use certain things in prose and in our writing that when you use it out in the world, it means something else, but the entire writing community and readers know it as something else. And one of those things is pursed lips. So in writing and in reading, if you say he pursed his lips, then it's almost like a contemplative, like when you're reading something in a book, that's what it's referring to, unless it's some probably medical scene. I don't know. But in real life, when you purse your lips, you pucker them. And I learned that from Acela because she's a nurse. And she goes, that's not what that means. Because I don't know how it came up, but she had corrected me. And it's like, that's so funny because that's how we use it. And I went and Googled it. And she's right. Obviously, she would know. She's, you know, went to medical school. So she knows what it is actually, what pursed lips are. But yeah, that's just not how, it's not how we write it. And I know that there are a couple other words, I can't think of them right now, but there are a couple other words that I've noticed that we do that with too. They're just, I mean, you could get like how to write romance book and it will give you random examples of writing a love scene or kiss scene or showing affection. It will have the pursed lips and like right before really, an intense scene right before a kiss or something, they purse his lips in thought or whatever, And so it's just really interesting. It's really interesting.
Pursed lips and thawed.
What? Thought
Right.
and thought.
Oh,
Pursed his lips in thought. Like pensive.
yeah. I misheard you. Yeah,
Well,
it's almost like lube differential when I brought that up as a freaking book title or whatever.
for romance, yeah.
I got blinders apparently to the world because you tell me lube differential, I'm thinking car stuff. And everyone's like, what? Hell no. That's the last thing on my mind is car stuff.
Other people said that, not just me?
Yeah, your sister hit me up.
Oh, yeah, she hit me up too. Okay.
We're talking about dudes. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm naive.
I don't think that's true. Okay, so speaking of, because you heard the word thawed, and that is on you have a warming up to list that you used to hate and now you don't. So you want to explain that to us?
Yeah, I think like so English wasn't my first language, even though I'm not great at Spanish now. But growing up, like until about the third grade, it was all Spanish growing up. And then I started speaking basically only English. So English technically is my second language, but there's words that I still struggle with and growing up didn't make sense to me. And thawed was one that I had no clue what the hell it was until I was like probably in my early teens. I never had exposure to that word. And then I just didn't like it. Like it's a weird word. And I don't know, I just I didn't care for it. So now through exposure and it's not a very common word, but now, 15, 20 years later, I'm like, it's just a word now. But before, when I was first introduced to it, I thought it was just a weird, dumb word.
Well, I was today years old, or not really. It was recent though, when I realized I was saying unthawed when that's not the word.
That would be freezing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's something my mom said when I was growing up or how I got that or if I just made it up because I do stuff like that too. But yeah, it's not even that I get it when you stop and you think about it, but it just was just something that I said. Just like people say irregardless, even though that's not, I mean, that's one of those things where I always, if somebody says regardless, I always listen really closely to make sure they're using it right.
I got a coworker that he's smart, but he likes to get under people's feathers, and he would purposely say irregardless just either to
see if people caught it.
Either to get under people's skin who know, or create bad habits and like get people to start saying irregardless for whatever reason.
The other thing that I always pay attention to that I've known for a while, I don't know, high school or whatever, but a lot of people say supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And I think that's just a slip of the tongue. Like, I think if people sat down to actually try and spell it out, they would probably spell it correctly. But it's just the way. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving people too much credit, but
there's a lot of words like that, like coming down the pike. Hey, this plan's coming down the pike. Mm-hmm. People say coming down the pipe.
I think that can be said both ways. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it's pike.
I feel like I've looked that up before. Let's see.
Well, I mean, people can be sticklers. Like, no one pronunciates or is it enunciates or pronunciates? I get them confused. Library, February, all that kind of stuff.
February. Like Wednesday.
Library.
Wednesday. Yeah, no, I know. And you're right. It didn't say you could say it both ways. It's coming down the pike.
Right.
Okay. Another word on your list for words you're warming up to was vinaigrette. You want to tell us about that one?
It goes hand in hand with the thod. This was a word that I didn't really know about, and I've had a lot more exposure to the word vinaigrette. So to me, it's a normal word, I guess, at this point. But when I first learned it, I'm like, man, what the hell was that? But thod is less common. So
yeah. Well, in all fairness, I can't even spell vinaigrette. I
think it's just vinegar and then ETTE or something like that.
I don't think it is.
Look it up, man. I
think that's what I thought, and then it told me it was wrong because I think I spelled it and it changed it. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, no, that's not how you spell it.
Well, then the French can eat it.
It's VINAIGRETTE. I can't remember that. But yeah, so that's our list. Is there anything else, any other words you want to add? We can always revisit this in another 6 months and see what we can add on there.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good for now. I mean, I've probably shown how much of a weirdo I am, so we're good to move on.
No, I mean, I do the same thing, and I say no worries a lot, and I think that's just what I say, and I've said that my whole life, and I would probably continue to say that for my whole life, and it probably bugs people, but I don't care. It's just how I say it.
I don't see why I don't see why it would bug people. I say no worries, but one time I used it, and this guy, a friend of ours, responded back with, "I wasn't worried," and I'm like, "Whoa, dude!"
God, one of those
slapped me in the face. I was like, "Whatever. Oh, no worries. I wasn't worried." Like, oh my God, let me choose different words next time with you.
I have a feeling I know who it was. I would just look at him and say, "You should be," and walk away.
That's a good one.
Next time.
I'm not as quick.
Well, it's easy for me to say that right now. In the moment, I probably wouldn't either. So, all right. Well, if you guys want to add your words to our list, we would love to hear what the word is, and we would love to know why. So you can email us at grumpilyeverafterpodcast@gmail.com. And I'm going to start keeping a tally list so that on a future episode, we can tackle some more. Just because it's interesting. You feel like you get a glimpse into other people when you really get to talk about that kind of stuff. Your story makes sense with the vinaigrette and the thought based on, your second language or whatever, but let's go. I didn't know that bothered you. I didn't even know bet was a thing, so I didn't know that bothered you. Yeah, but I guess you learned some stuff about writing that really bothers me, so.
No, I did. I mean, I learned what the brow was. words, languages, everyone's got their own interpretation. Like everyone jumps on the literally bandwagon. They're like, yeah, that word needs to die. Or if we're, on our own little paddle boat in the ocean and no one cares about it. So curious to see what other people have to say, what words bug them.
Yeah, we'll see. I will also put my book recommendation and our show recommendations in the show notes for anybody who's interested in watching those and where you can find those. And let's close out with what we're grateful for today.
I'm grateful for you. I made it 1 year in this new position as a manager, and I can confidently say I can count on one hand how many times someone has bought me flowers, and you bought me flowers and made me a little note. So that might be the first or second time I've ever got.
It's the second time I've done it, so it's at least two.
So that's why I kind of wanted to give myself an out. Thank you, P. I appreciate
it. In fact, I'm pretty sure you walked in and you're like, "Thanks for the note." And I was like, "Do you like the sunflower?" I thought it was really cool because it's like a burnt orange color. And you're like,
"It's really cool."
Oh, that's for me. You are welcome. And I am grateful today for my new chair that I'm sitting in.
Oh, yeah.
After over a decade of sitting in this office at this desk, I've never gotten like splurged on a chair, and I finally did. I sit in here more than I sit on our couch, so it was nice. It feels nice. So, anyways, yeah. And I will have everybody know that I put it together, and I sent Dennis a photo, and his response was, "Wait, it came assembled?" It's like, no, I freaking put it together. What do you take me for? Am I that incompetent? Jeez.
Well, I told you, I was like, "Hey, I'll build it when I get home," and then you just send me a photo of it there. So I'm like, "What?"
Well, yeah, I can
like you could have said, "Nah, don't worry about it, Pooh. I'm gonna build it when it gets here." Like I was caught off guard. I'm not trying to say you can't do it.
I know.
I hear you roar.
Well, in all fairness, I did need you to do like one thing for me when you came home. Shove that what was that little thing called?
They're plugs.
Little plug in. I couldn't get it in because I needed a strong finger.
Shove the plug in.
Okay, it's getting awkward. All right, everybody. We will see you next time. Happy listening, reading, watching adventures, and so long for now.
Mahalo.
Bye. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of Grumpily Ever After. Whether you're here for the book talk or the banter, we appreciate you. If you enjoyed our brand of chaos, don't forget to subscribe and join us next time for more book chats and married mayhem. Stay grumpy, stay bookish, and we'll catch you next time.